So today is an absolutely huge day for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 news. Not only did we get the teaser trailer yesterday that has so many little hints and things that I want to talk about, but we also got the ARG. The newest ARG for Chapter 3 has officially started. People are scrambling to try and solve it. There are passwords, CCTV, images, videos, so much information in this ARG that I think this one deserves its own video, and I will be covering this in a video. But I thought before I get to that, I thought I would try to cover this question, because this is the burning question right now. This is the thing that nobody can agree on. It's the biggest debate within the Poppy Playtime theory community, and that is exactly who or what is the antagonist for Chapter 3. Now, this is something that no one can agree on, and for good reason, but I actually think that potentially I have a very good explanation for exactly who the Chapter 3 antagonists are. And yes, I do mean antagonists. So why is this a problem? Why is this a massive debate? Well, this has been something that has gone back all the way back to Chapter 1. In between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, when Mob were teasing Chapter 2, they started to tease and started to give hints towards Mommy Longlegs. And we eventually got that reveal for Mommy Longlegs with the trailer. Now, this was something that we all enjoyed. I know I did. We all enjoyed trying to figure out exactly who the next big bad was going to be. Huggy Wuggy from Chapter 1 was iconic. So seeing who the next one was going to be was really exciting. And this is something that is now happening once again in between Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. Everybody's trying to scramble to figure out exactly who the next iconic creature or enemy or toy is that we're going to have to face off against. Now, already we know that this one is going to be much more scary, much more dark than the last two, which I can't wait for. But still, we have a huge debate about exactly who this is going to be. Now, as I said, if you look at all of the evidence, I actually think there are multiple, and I actually think I've possibly solved this one. The big debate right now is between, I think, two major possibilities, or I guess you could say three major possibilities. Now, the first major possibility is that there's going to be some sort of bird creature. I know that Just Jord has been talking about this for quite a while, and this is still potentially true. There's potentially a flying creature in Chapter 3 that could be very interesting. But the problem with this is that we then got a teaser before we got the trailer. The teaser showed off this claw. And I did say it's possible that this claw could be a bird's talon. Some people thinking it could be an owl's talon, for an example. But the more I looked at it, the more I just don't think it looks like a bird. This looks more like a mammal to me. It looks more like as some people have suggested, a cat or a bear or something along those lines. It's furry, it's strong, and we can see that it's, raking Huggy across the floor, and wherever it goes, it's leaving these scratch marks. So this doesn't look that bird-like to me. Now, as I said, there's a third potential possibility, and that is that this is some sort of original character. If you look at Huggy, for an example, he doesn't really exist as a real creature. He's made up. And you could even argue that Mommy Longlegs, while she does look kind of like a spider, she's not a spider. She is also a made-up creature. So this definitely could be some sort of original character, but there's a better explanation, and that explanation is that these two characters are completely separate. What makes this even more likely, in my opinion, is that we got another teaser before the teaser trailer, the day before it dropped. We got this image, which seems to show some sort of bird. I mean, it looks more like a moth or a butterfly to me, but it definitely looks like something with wings. So we have this creature with wings, but then we also seem to have this creature with very powerful claws that this creature doesn't seem to look like it has. So how do we explain this then? Is it a bird or is it a mammal? Well, quite simply, I think it's both. I think there's actually going to be multiple antagonists in Chapter 3. I actually think there's going to be 3, and I think we can see all 3 of them in this teaser trailer. Bear with me. So let's start with the most obvious one, the one that we can see. As I said, this creature with this claw seems to be incredibly strong, and it seems to be definitely mammalian to me, not a bird. And we also see this face, which a lot of people have suggested looks like some sort of rabbit. Well, I actually think I know what this is. And the reason why I think I figured this out is we had a teaser way before all of these ones in Project Playtime. If you remember in Project Playtime, we got the teaser that showed the playcare, and it showed these 3 animals walking towards it with the very cheeky tagline, "Live every day like it's your last." Now, we already talked about this being very cheeky in the fact that, Chapter 3 is going to be very dangerous. The playcare is going to be very deadly. So this line is, kind of cheeky. But if you look at these three creatures, we can actually see these creatures in the teaser trailer. Now, if you look at this image of this kid, you can see what looks to me like a dog in the corners. You can see it's definitely this one because you can see that the color matches. It's orange with a yellow front. And I do think this one looks more like a dog. The ears look like a dog. The tail looks like a dog. And potentially that is what this creature is. Now, yes, this creature is purple. It's not the same color, but color doesn't really matter. The idea that this could be a dog, if you look at the claw, makes a lot of sense. The face also could definitely be a dog. It looks like a dog that's very happy to see you. So, okay, if this creature is a dog and we see this image of this kid here, knowing that Playtime Co. have done experiments on children before, this could be an even darker theory. This could be the Chapter 3 antagonist. This boy here could be the one that they use to bring this dog toy to life. Now, what makes this theory even more interesting is this could absolutely explain the bird-like or the creature with wings as well. Now, if you look at this image again, we can see there are three. There are this, what I think is a dog, a unicorn, and also a bird. Now, if you look at the unicorn, you can also see the unicorn in this image too. If you look at these two children, you can see this one that has the unicorn. It's clearly the unicorn. It's the same colors. And then you can see this one, which is also some sort of blue creature, maybe a lion. I'm not too sure. But you can see that each kid seems to have its own little animal. And I do think this could be a major hint that these are the children that are being transferred into the living toys in the play care. But once again, we have this bird. We have this bird-like creature with wings. This bird here could be a massive hint to that. And I actually think we can see this bird in the trailer. If you see this part where you see this very shadowy figure that we can barely see move, it definitely looks like it has some sort of wings to me. We also see wings all over this teaser trailer, and we also see this line, "My somniferous flock." Now, somniferous is talking about going to sleep, which makes a lot of sense. This chapter is all about sleep. But then the idea of flock could mean two things. It could mean in a religious sense. A lot of religious people like to call their followers their flock. I do think there's a pretty strong religious sentiment here, so it could mean that, but it could also be a flock of birds. So I think that could be a double meaning. All right, so we have the dog, which I think is this. We have the bird, which I think is this very shadowy creature. And then we finally have this unicorn. And I did promise you that we could see all three of these in this teaser trailer. You might be saying, well, there's no unicorns in this trailer. I actually think there is. Remember the Huggy Wuggy that has been impaled and is dripping? Well, what is it impaled on? Honestly, I think this is the unicorn's horn. Look at it. It's thicker at the bottom and it's thinner at the top. This to me cements it. This Huggy Wuggy has been impaled on the unicorn. We don't know how big or scary the unicorn's going to look in toy form, but seeing how scary all the other toys are, it makes sense that the horn is going to be deadly. So what does this mean? We have a dog creature, we have a bird creature, and we have a unicorn creature. Now, to me, that means two things. One, there are definitely several enemies in this chapter, and it makes sense. We talked about this before, that the idea that the Playcare was going to have toys designed for younger children. And, you know, this makes sense. There are several of them here to look after the younger children. But also, I think this is showing that these toys are working together. For example, if you look at Kissy Missy's video once again, we saw somebody, maybe 1006, giving somebody instructions to release Kissy Missy. And at the end of that video, you could see these scratch marks and you could also see that she is free. Now, we also talked about the idea that it sounds like something dropped on the train in the tunnel, which could make sense. The flying creature dropped on the train, started to do something on the train, and then when the train stopped, that's when the dog came in and did, well, this. It seems like these toys are working together. They are a team, and it probably means that they're going to work together in Chapter 3 to try and get us. I don't think we're going to be a welcome guest in the Playcare. Now, there is also one thing that I haven't got around to talking about yet in this video, and that is, of course, this amalgamation of toys. Now, it is entirely possible that this is 1006. We can see that this has a Huggy Wuggy or a Kissy at the top here. Could be the Huggy from Chapter 1, the one that we dropped. It could also be a different one. And we also see, this looks like Mommy to me. The hands definitely look like Mommy's gloves. So this could be Mommy Longlegs here. So this absolutely could be 1006. But then there's also the idea that this could be something else entirely, because we don't know how many of each toy there are. If you look at this, for example, this is another big Huggy by the looks of it, and well, we don't know how many big Huggies there are. Is this the Huggy from chapter 1, or is this a different one? We don't know. So this definitely could be the amalgamation of toys, but here's something to consider. We've talked about the idea of Mommy Longlegs saying, make me a part of him. We never know that exactly means 1006. She could be talking about somebody else. So there's an even potential idea here that 1006 is building a new toy, building something else. It might not necessarily be his body. And the reason why I think that is because we can't really see the 1006 claw here. So this could be a new toy entirely. This could be something that 1006 has been working on for a long time and getting all the toys to help him. So just something to think about. But I really do think that the evidence is here that we are going to get at least 3 antagonists in chapter 3. We have a very stealthy bird-like creature, we have a very deadly dog-like creature, and we also have a unicorn, which I don't want to get on the wrong side of. But anyway, let me know what you thought about this theory down in the comments below. Like I say, I've got so many videos to do today, so I'm trying not to waffle too much. But I do think the evidence here is pretty convincing. I'm, at this point, convinced that we're going to see at least 3. I'm very excited to see what your thoughts are in the comments below. And yes, by the way, I know it's a train. We'll talk about that in the next video. But thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.